Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 3 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 3 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter properties. And the lessons we're going to cover today are distributive property, find the missing factor, multiply using the distributive property, solve using properties of multiplication, and relate multiplication and division. There you can find a list of the chapters. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Okay, so here I am on grade 3 math. We're going to start with the chapter properties. So let's just start with the lesson, that is distributive property, find the missing factor. Let's just start with the lesson. It's okay, but you are here for the math session, right? This isn't the language session. So let's just start with the first example, that is use the distributive property of multiplication to find the missing number. So first let's just learn the distributive property, right? I'm going to explain the distributive property. Please listen to me carefully. So what is the distributive property? That is very important property, so you need to learn the distributive property. That is basically like this: A times B plus C, right? You have B and C are adding, they are inside the bracket. A is outside the bracket, A is multiplying to the sum of B and C, right? So how do we solve like this, right? That is known as the distributive property. What you have to do, you have to multiply this A with B first. You have to do AB, then you have to do plus this is the addition sign over here. Then you have to do A times C. So that means the number A that is outside the bracket, that need to be multiplied everything that is inside the bracket. So basically that is the distributive property. It is like A times B plus C. How do we solve? That is equal to A plus B plus AC, AB plus AC, right? That is the distributive property. Now we know what is the distributive property. Now we can go through the example. So let's just learn the example. Start with the first example. Now see, use the distributive property of multiplication to find the missing number. You have to find the missing number, but you need to use the distributive property, right? So look at here, 5 times 3 and 5 times 2, that is basically AB plus AC. You can see A is common here. A is the 5. You can see here 5 is the number that is multiplying, right? And B and C are the numbers that are adding. So B and 3 C are 3 plus 2. You can see here. The missing number is, that is basically the missing number, you can write it as 5 times and 3 plus 2. You can add them, like 3 plus 2 is 5. So you can write it as 5 times 5. Got it? They both are right. If you write 3 plus 2 or if you write 5, they both are correct. Got it? So let me just start with the test questions. I'll explain again. If you still have any confusion, you can ask question. So one more thing, now you don't have to go to Skype to contact a tutor. You simply have to click on this button. You can see the button that is live chat button. So if you need help, with any of the lesson, you can simply click on this button. Tutors are available there. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9, right? Not all the time. The shift, during the shift timings, they are available. So basically, you have to relate the variables with the numbers, right? The letters, I think you are talking about the variables, the one I write a times b plus c, right? You have to relate them with the numbers. Just look at here, 4 times 2 and 4 times 3. Just understand like this, 4 times 2 plus 4 times 3. You have a missing number and times 5. They are like a times b plus a times c. That is, you can understand. So here a is the number that is multiplying. So a is 4, right? And inside the bracket they are b and c. So they are 3 plus 2. So that is 5 is already there. That means you added 3 plus 2. So you have 5 here. So that means the missing number is 4. So the correct option is 4. The correct option is 4. So the missing number is 4. Okay, the next one is use the distributive property to of multiplication to find the missing number. So let's just see how do we find the missing number. You can see here again, you have 3 times 5 plus 3 times 1, right? So that means 3 is the number that is outside the bracket, and inside the bracket you have 5 plus 1. So you can see you are given 6 here, like you added 5 plus 1, that is 6. So that means the missing number is 3. The correct option is 3. The missing number is 3. Got it? Option number 1 is the correct option. The missing number is 3. Option number 1 is the correct option. Got it? Okay, the next one is use the distributive property of multiplication to find the missing number. So which number is missing? The missing number is, that is 5 times 5 plus 5 times 1. So here you have, that means this 5 is the common number, and inside the bracket you have 5 plus 1. So 5 plus 1 is 6. Here you have 6. So this number is 5. The correct option is 5. So the missing number is 5. Option number 2 is the correct option. For which question you're writing option number 1? Use the distributive property of multiplication to find the missing number. So which is the correct option? 4 times 5 plus 4 times 1, that equals 4 times the missing number. So which is the correct option? That is 4 times 5 plus, so you are given 4 here, right? So that means here you must have 5 plus 1, that is 6. So option number 2 is the correct option. The correct option is 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. The next one is use the distributive property of multiplication to find the missing number. So which is the correct option? Which number is missing? That is 3 times 5. The missing number is 5. Use the distributive property of multiplication to find the missing number. So which number is missing? 5 times 1 plus 5 times 5. So which number is missing? Hello, can you hear me now? Sorry. Okay, the next one is use the distributive property of multiplication to find the missing number. So that is 3 times 1 plus 3 times 5. So which is the correct option? No, that was from my side, don't worry. So which is the correct option? Which number is missing? The missing number is, you can see 3 is the common number here, right? So that means the missing number is 3. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is multiply using the distributive property. So now we just learned the distributive property, right? Now we're going to multiply using the distributive property. So multiplication using the distributive property is very easy. Let's just start with the first example, that is use the distributive property of multiplication to find 6 times 13, right? And you are given the hint, you need to remove, replace 13 with 3 times 10, right? So let's just see how do we do. We don't need to do 6 times 13. Now replace the 13 with, you are given the hint, use that hint, right? Replace that 13 with 3 plus 10, right? Now they are exactly like, you have to apply now distributive property. You have to multiply 6 times 3. Here you have 6 times 3. Then you have the addition sign. Then you have to do 6 times 10. So here you have 6 times 10, right? 6 times 3 is 18 and 10 times 6 is 60. You need to add 60 plus 18 is 78. So that's how you multiply. You don't have to do 13 times 6. You have to break them down, replace the 13 with 3 plus 10, and then you have basically multiplication this way is very easy. Got it? We'll do the practice questions, then that would be more understandable for you. So now you don't have to go to the Skype to contact any tutor. You can simply click on this live chat button, right? Tutors are available there to help you, but they are available during the shift timing, that is between 9 and 5, between 9 Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, right? Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Use the distributive property of multiplication to find 6 times 11. Okay, now let's just see, you are given the hint 10 plus 1. Use that hint. Replace the 11 with 10 plus 1. You have to do 6 times and 10 plus 1, right? So you have to do 10 times 6, and then you have to do 6 times 1. Basically, the concept is you have to multiply the number that is outside the bracket with everything that is inside the bracket, right? So I just did, like, I did 6 times 10 and plus 6 times 1. Now you have to add 6 times 10 is 60 and 6 times 1 is 6. So 60 plus 6 is 66. So the correct option is 66. Option number 1 is the correct option. Got it? The correct option is 66. The correct option is 66. Option number 1 is the correct option. The next one is use the distributive property of multiplication to find 6 times 13. So how do we multiply? You have to do 6 times, replace the 13 with 3 plus 10, right? And let's just multiply. So how do we multiply? You have to do 6 times 3 and plus 6 times 10. So 6 times 13 is 18 and 6 times 10 is 60. So just add, they make 78. So the correct option is 78. That's the same question we did on the tutorial, isn't it? Yes, that is 78. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, now for the next one, you can use your notebook and pencil and you can please write the answer in the chat box. You have to do 8 times 12. So which is the correct option? You have to replace the 12 with 10 plus 2. So just replace, do the multiplication, write the answer in the chat box. I'm waiting. Let's see who is going to write the answer first. The correct option is 98, right? How you need to replace the 12 with 10 plus 2, you have to do 8 times 10 and plus you have to do 8 times 2. 8 times 10 is 80 and 8 times 2 is 16. So you can just add 80 plus 16 makes 96. So the correct option is option number 1, that is 96. Okay, let's just move on to next one. 98 it is. 12 times 8 is 96, not 98. The correct option is 96. Please do not guess the answers. Use your notebook and pencil and solve the questions. The next one is use the distributive property of multiplication to find 6 times 12. So which is the correct option? You have to replace the 12 with, just replace the 12 with 10 plus 2. So you have to do 6 times 10 and plus 6 times 2, right? So 6 times 10 is 60 and 6 times 2 is 12. So that is 72. The correct option is 72. Option number 2 is the correct option. The correct option is 72. Option number 2 is the correct option. No one want to type actually because you have to do the questions on your notebook and no one can do. Use the distributive property of multiplication. Find 7 times 12. So which is the correct option? The correct option is 84. It is option number 1 is the correct option, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. These lessons are very important, right? So you must have to do the practice questions later today, right? The next one is mm, solve using properties of multiplication. Let's just start with the lesson. Use the zero property of multiplication. Zero equals, so what number you multiply with zero to make the answer zero? The zero property means if you multiply any number with zero, the answer is always a zero. Whatever number you are multiplying with zero, the answer is always a zero. You have given use a zero property, so that is zero. 7. 7 must be multiplied with zero to make it zero, right? Because 7 times zero is zero, right? So any number when multiplied with zero, the answer is zero. So let's just start with the practice questions. You are here to learn why you keep an eye on who is coming and who is going. Type the missing number. Use the identity property of multiplication. So basically, identity property. The identity property is whatever number you are multiplying with one, The answer is exactly the same number, right? So 1 times what number is 7? The correct option is 1 times 7 is 7, right? So the correct option is 7. You need, basically these are the properties of multiplication: the zero property, the identity property, and now we're going to learn the commutative property, right? Type the missing number. 9 times 5 equal 5 times the missing number. So basically, commutative property is, on the both sides the number must be same, right? Just the order of writing the numbers is different. Either you do 9 times 5, or either you do 5 times 9. In both the cases the answer is 45, right? The missing number is 9. Option number 2 is the correct option. Type the missing number. Use the zero property of multiplication. What number times 0 is 0? So which is the correct option? That is 0 times 2 is 0. The correct option is 0. Type the missing number. 10 times 3 times the missing number. You have to use the associative property over here. So associative property involves three of the numbers. On the both sides the numbers are same, just the order of multiplication is different. So here you have 10 times 3 and then the missing number. Here you have 10 times 3 times 9. So which number is missing? The missing number is 8. On the both sides, sorry, 9. The numbers must be same, just order of multiplication is different. So whenever you have three numbers on the both sides, just the order of multiplication is different. That is the associative property, right? For the two numbers, that is commutative property. When three of the numbers are involved, that is the associative property. Type the missing number. 8 plus 1 times 4 equals 8 times 4 plus the missing number times 4. So which number is missing? The correct option is 1. Yes, very good. 1 it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. Y- Type the missing number. Which number is missing? The correct option is 8 times 1. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, type the missing number. 5 times 1 equals. The correct option is 5. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, let's just start with the next lesson. You can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is relate multiplication and division. Okay, so basically multiplication and division, like addition and subtraction are related. Same way multiplication and division are related. They are opposite to each other, right? So let's start with the first example, that is 3 times 23 is 69, right? So that means if you divide 69 by 3, the answer would be 23. They are the related facts, right? You have the numbers must be same in both the related facts. Here you have 3, here you have 3. Here you have 69, here you have, that means the missing number must be 23. So the correct option is 23. How they are related? Multiplication and division are opposite to each other. Like here you have, when you have to make 6, you can do 2 times 3 makes 6, right? And when you divide 6 by 3, the answer is 2. They are opposite to each other. When you make 6 by multiplying 2 times 3, you make 2 by dividing 6 by 3. So they are opposite to each other. Let's just start with the test question. If 30 divided by 3 is 10, then 3 times what number is 30? The correct option is 3 times 10 is 30. The correct option is 10. Option number 1 is the correct option. If 10 times 5 is 50, then what number divided by 10 is 5, which is the correct option? The correct option is 50 divided by 5 is 10. The 50 divided by 10 is 5. The next correct option is 50. If 80 divided by 8 is 10, then 10 times what number is 80? The correct option is 10 times 8 is 80. Option number 1 is the correct option. If 10 times 2 is 20, then what number divided by 2 is 10, which is the correct option? The correct option is 20 divided by 2 is 10. Option number 2 is the correct option. 20 it is. If 100 divided by 20 equals 5, then 5 times 20 equal. The correct option is 5 times 20 is 100. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is if 40 divided by 4 is 10, then what number times 10 is 40? The correct option is 4 times 10 is 40. The correct option is 4. Option number 2 is the correct option. If 9 times 6 is 54, then 54 divided by what number is 6? The correct option is 54 divided by 9 is 6. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 3 math. The chapter we were working on is properties. The lessons we have covered today are distributive property, find the missing factor, multiply using distributive property, solve using properties of multiplication, and relate multiplication and division. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor through live chat button. They are available from Monday to Friday 5 to 9, or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5. So that's all for today. If you have any questions related to the lessons we have just finished, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So any question? No questions? Okay, that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone.